The superstar of the 70s heads the musical vanguard of the 80s. Standing Room Only presents Linda Ronstadt in concert this weekend on HBO.
You're watching Home Box Office. The following motion picture has been rated PG by the Motion Picture Association of America. Parental guidance is suggested.
Next, a look at September's excitement and a bit of wit when Jerry Stiller and Meara come your way with HBO's Sneak Preview. Next on HBO.
You're watching Home Box Office.
So, you come to the gypsy lady, huh? You want to know the future, eh, my son?
Yeah, right now I'm sort of in a fog, gypsy lady. Everything is up in the air.
You are a pilot?
No, I'm an elevator dispatcher.
Don't get smart with me, Sonny. I do the jokes around here. Now, if you want an overall year's look into the future, it'll cost you $50.
Forget it.
But for $5, I'll show you what's in store for you next month.
Okay, gypsy lady, tell me what's going to happen in September.
Well, if you play your cards right and have HBO...
I do.
And you don't loss it up, you'll have a hunky-dory time.
Yeah?
Yeah. Gaze into my crystal ball, which is very cleverly hooked up to the HBO satellite. Come in, HBO. Come in, HBO. Sorry, darling, wrong channel. Come in, HBO Sneak Preview.
It's HBO Sneak Preview with Stiller and Meara and scenes from some of the exciting movie specials and sports you'll see in September on Home Box Office. And here are your hosts, Jerry Stiller and Meara.
Hi, and welcome to Home Box Office Sneak Preview for September.
The leaves of brown came tumbling down. Remember?
Yeah, honey, we all remember. I'm sure they're dying to hear you sing. But we have a lot of great movies and specials and sports programs to tell you about for this show.
In September.
Yes, Jerry, in September.
In the rain.
In the rain. Now, forgive him, he loves to play with his little toys. Honey, don't you think that we should move right ahead to our featured movie for September?
Okay, I'll tell them about that, Ann. Fellas, what do we call a woman who's a real knockout on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, a 10?
Right. And what does that make Bo Derek?
Pushy.
No, an 11. At least that's how Dudley Moore describes her in this year's sensational comedy hit 10. And I guess I'd have to agree. 10's the film that catapulted Bo Derek to instant stardom. She has to be seen to be believed. And even then...
Even then, it's the story of a middle-aged man foolishly obsessed with youth and sex and beauty.
Foolishly?
Foolishly, believe me, foolishly. Anyway, it was directed by Blake Edwards, the creator of the Pink Panther movies, and it's very funny. In this scene, Dudley Moore sneaks into a church to watch Bo Derek's wedding.
One of the most glorious of God's institutions is the institution of marriage. a union of two souls swearing allegiance and promising in God's name to obey one another until death do them part. In today's world, it does well to consider such a commitment. For in the final analysis, on the day of reckoning, we shall all be held to account. The time has come for David and Jenny to make this commitment to one another. Do you, David, take Jennifer as your lawful wedded wife, to have and to hold in sickness and in health, from this day forward till death do you part?
Let me tell you about the new Dracula movie. Frank Langella is so sexy as Dracula that you'll want him to take a nibble. Wait till you see his seductive charms at work. And the incomparable Sir Laurence Olivier delivers a powerful performance as Van Helsing, the resourceful vampire hunter. Kate Nelligan is lovely as Lucy, the young Englishwoman who eagerly succumbs to Dracula's charms. A word of caution to parents of small children. Dracula is R-rated. It has some pretty gruesome scenes. But for you devotees of the Dracula legend, this big new version will give you shivers of delight. Let's take a look at Dracula's first run-in with Olivier as the vampire hunter.
Oh, the devil.
Not as bad as that.
I did not hear you come in, Count.
I am often told I have a light footstep.
I was looking in the mirror. It reflects the whole room, and yet I cannot see.
Forgive me, Doctor. I dislike mirrors. They are the playthings of man's vanity.
You are a most unusual creature, Count Dracula.
Yes. How is the fair patient?
Her diagnosis presents difficulties.
I feared it might, my friend.
Would you care to see what I have prescribed for her?
Anything that you prescribe for Miss Lucy has the greatest interest for her.
My prescription is a most unusual one.
What kind of ghoul am I that could never fall in love? Da 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 dee da da dee 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 da da dee dee dee. It isn't easy being a vampire.
If you've liked Ally McGraw ever since Love Story, if you've watched her in Goodbye Columbus and you want to see more, September is your month. Home Box Office presents Ally in two very different kinds of movies, Players and Just Tell Me What You Want.
Just Tell Me What You Want is a boisterous comedy of love among the big-time New York wheeler dealers. Alan King, who co-produced this hilarious film, stars as the bombastic tycoon Max Herschel. And Ally McGraw matches him as Bones Burton, the mistress he really loves. But he doesn't realize it until she beats it into his skull, literally, on the floor of a major New York department store.
Players is a romantic drama that tugs at the old heartstrings. Here, Ally is cast again as the mistress of a rich man.
She must be exhausted.
But this time, it's Maximilian Schell. Ally falls passionately in love with a handsome young tennis player, Dean Paul Martin, which leads to a few romantic fireworks. Dean Paul, if you didn't know, is Dino's son. And if you didn't know, the picture was produced by Ally's former husband, Robert Evans. For you tennis fans, the court action at Wimbledon is just great.
Just Tell Me What You Want is R-rated, parents, while Players gets a PG. First, let's look at a scene from Just Tell Me What You Want. In this scene, Ally McGraw confronts Alan King.
Sweetheart, just tell me what you want. It's yours. Just tell me.
I got married this morning.
Don't worry about it. We'll get it annulled. Nothing to it.
It's done. Just accept it.
Sweetheart, you're making a pretty bad mistake. I've always let you play Mrs. In Charge without you having to carry the real weight. The boy won't give you that, sweetheart. He'll expect things.
He'll expect me to love him. He's not like you, Max. He's very different from you, from us. He's different.
How different?
He's better.
You better run along, darling. I've got some calls to make.
And now for a scene from Players.
Look, you're very pretty, and you're much nicer than I expected you to be. But I'm too old and too,
Married?
Not exactly.
You like him?
Yes, I like him.
A lot?
Yes, a lot. Now, no more questions. I don't answer questions. I'm allergic to them. They make me break out.
Where? I'm sorry, no more questions. How old is this guy, anyway?
82, 83. I'm telling you, no more questions.
I'll tell you one thing. If you ever called me from a public booth, I wouldn't make you so miserable that you drive into a tree. Come on. It wasn't a question.
In another sports-related movie for September, young Tim Matheson plays the title role in Dreamer. It's about a small-town boy who dreams of making it big in professional bowling. Susan Blakely's his neglected girlfriend, and Jack Warden plays the one-time bowling champ who's Tim's coach and inspiration. You don't have to be a bowler to enjoy this fine little movie. But for those of you who are, Dreamer will be right up your alley. Let's take a look at a scene from Dreamer. In the scene we're about to see, Tim Matheson and his girl are having a fight.
Who do you think you are, anyway? Treating me like I'm second. I'm not second to anybody or anything. Just take that, too. I don't want to see you.
Thought she told you put that stuff in the car. Right.
You get that broken down old heap out of here, too.
That car hasn't budged in 2 years. I'll come get it later.
I don't care. You move it now. I don't want you back here ever again.
All right.
One of the most successful series of movies in recent years has been Airport and its many sequels. As a matter of fact, I appeared in Airport 75. You may remember me. I was the guy who slept through the entire disaster. Well, next month, HBO brings you the latest airport thriller, The Concorde, Airport 79. And if I had been in this one and stayed awake, I would have had a chance to meet the new all-star cast, including Robert Wagner, John Davidson, Susan Blakely, Eddie Albert, Alan Delon, and many others. The one guy I would recognize from Airport 75 would be George Kennedy, who has starred in all of them. But he'd probably be too busy trying to land the plane to talk to me. The Concorde Airport 79 has all the action and excitement of its predecessors, only this time at a supersonic pace. Here's a scene in which the Concorde is being attacked by a fighter plane.
It's an armed phantom, and he's coming right for us. Full power. Missile at 5 o'clock. Those missiles have an arrow-seeking angle, no more than 30 degrees. If we make enough violent maneuvers, we may be able to cause a flyby.
Oh, no. Someone's having to again.
Mayday, Mayday, this is Concorde. We're under attack by an unmarked fighter plane. Mayday, this is Concorde, please respond.
I'd love to see what my horoscope said for this morning. He's got 3 more.
Part of Sneak Preview's purpose is to give our viewers a behind-the-scenes peek at how cable television works. As you may know, Home Box Office is beamed to you from a satellite which is at this very moment circling the Earth 22,000 miles above the equator. Now we're going to get a shot of that satellite on our screen here.